Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, where we are about to take Black Crag. I don't see any reason to even consider anything else before getting on with this. Yeah, let's have Yarrick lay siege to the walls. Actually, here's the thing we do have to consider. We have the ability to attempt to damage the walls again. Do I think it would actually be beneficial to do so? Maybe not, right? I don't really want to encourage their giants and their black orcs to come out and fight us. I want to weaken them with flyers while they cower behind their walls. And if we open up the walls, it might actually be a good thing that we failed to damage the walls previously. Yeah, let's not engage with that at all. Let's do the flyer heavy strategy that we have been successful in executing. Continue siege and definitely send Krokagar in as reinforcement. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with everybody else. Let's resolve this first though. Okay, so we're gonna have 6 and... okay, we're gonna have 14 units of flyers against 5 units of orcs with bows. Should be pretty easy for us to take control here. Oh, let's go ahead and throw a leadership buff on, I don't know, one of the lower level flying units. One of the big things that you gain by leveling a unit up is leadership. Units that are higher veterancy are way less likely to panic and break and run. So we probably don't need to put it on one of the rank 6 flyers. Looks like we don't have a ton of dead zone to play with. Maybe we could get some troops in over here and have them be pretty safe. But yeah, I don't have any interest in bashing open the gates and engaging in melee combat with these orcs until we've softened them up some. This is definitely a place where we're like taking advantage of the AI a little bit, and I do sort of feel bad about it, but also I want to win, so, you know, what are you going to do? But the AI never, ever even considers just riding out and fighting, and in situations like this, it would be massively to their benefit to do so. We are really just going to try to jam everybody into this corner. If the orcs want to put up their... wow, that's... okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. If the orcs want to put all their archers together over here and just rain arrows down upon us, we will endure that. I do not think they'll do it, first of all, and secondly, even if they did, it's something we could definitely deal with. So, all of the non-flying units, I guess that's Control A, and then just unselect you guys. Just move forward in roughly the shape that you are currently in, over to, yeah, like that. That is absolutely perfect. And the flyers just need to get on the back side of the wall, and we'll figure the rest of it out afterward. I have had them put, by stacking up on the side that our reinforcements were coming in on, we did let them set up in a pretty ideal fashion here. But I think the value of this dead zone is great enough that it's going to offset that. Okay, so bombs for the orcs. I definitely clicked on these guys. I heard the selection sound. Okay, pretty good start. Are you far enough? Yeah, I think we can drop these here. The flying units that are already on the map, I feel totally comfortable using all of their bombs to hit archers, and then we can use the bombs of the reinforcement flyers to worry about like the black orcs and stuff. Okay, so you lot that are already over on the other side of the wall, just turn around and start firing into them. Let's see. We basically just need to soften up their control of the wall as quickly as possible. Group up and then swing out over here. Orc archers do not have great leadership, so we should, I think, be able to run them off the wall pretty quickly, and once we've done so... It's going to take them a minute to replace them on the wall, so they may lose control of the towers briefly, although it looks like the fact that there are some black orcs up on the wall already might make that not totally effective. Okay, it looks like we're mostly targeting pretty intelligently. We've got to make sure that we are telling the new units to get in as quickly as possible. Definitely do not want to select you. Okay, here. Flyers got to get in over the wall fast. And all of the rest of you... It's a little tedious to select groups of, like, only certain units in an area. Okay, well... That's not gonna... The way we would command them all to move into the safe zone to wait is going to be a very, very tedious, like, selecting one unit at a time and telling them to plug in sort of thing. We'll just hope to get control of the wall. Or get them to lose control of the wall, rather. It's less about gaining control of it ourselves and more about just disrupting them. These guys are the biggest threat to the flyers, so maybe refocus on them. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of the archers disengaged from the wall. The hero and the black orcs are going to be a little bit harder to run off, unfortunately. Okay, so Lord Croak is on the map. We should be firing our arcane conduit. And we're probably just going to rely on his spells, because Yarick's still not super trained up yet. And we can cast pretty effectively over the wall. Okay, so they've lost control of this tower briefly, until they redistribute those black orcs at least. And we are doing some meaningful damage to the black orcs. Maybe not actual damage, but leadership damage. Trying to break down the rest of the archers. Okay, I think we've secured ourselves control of the situation. They'll be able to continue using the towers against us a little bit. But for the most part, things should be pretty under control. And we're going to be able to wreak significant havoc with all of these flyers. I think at this point, anybody who has bombs left can start focusing them on the Black Orcs. Black Orcs are very heavily armored, pretty good at combat, like actually decent melee attack and defense, and they have a lot of armor piercing. So they're going to be good against pretty much anything we can muster, in particular, probably good against dinosaurs. They don't have any anti-large, but with the amount of melee attack and armor piercing we're talking about, they will still be a danger to the dinosaurs, for sure. But a hell of a time getting our flyers actually over to the positions to drop the bombs, because there are so many of us in the air, just like running into each other. Alright, you lot start focusing on the orcs up on top of the wall. Okay, we got some fire arcing up from the salamanders now. All we really have to do is get their black orcs too weak to fight, and we can sweep in and actually just have melee combat with the giants. I'm not too worried about that. With most factions, most infantry-focused factions, giants are like a serious terror. Here, I'm not too concerned. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the catapult. Let's handle the catapult real quick. So a Doom Diver catapult is actually a pretty wild thing. You can see here the projectile is a goblin with a hard metal, like sharpened hat and a wingsuit on, and he's the Doom Diver, and he actually steers. So it's a much more effective, or a much more accurate siege weapon than the orc, like rock lobbers and stuff. I think we may be able to pull you guys out of here, actually. This should be handled quickly, though. We have a lot of explosives coming in, and if these cavalry want to ride in and take a bunch of damage from our explosions, that's cool. I'm fine with that. They can do some okay work for us. Actually, I've taken a lot of damage. Why are you so injured? I guess it was just that those initial waves of arrows out of the archers before we broke them. Alright, focus on those guys. You can start working on these guys. Okay, as soon as we see a permanent break there, we'll reassign them, but I want to make sure these guys are actually dead. Because they are the only remaining thing that pose much of a threat to our flying units. And our flying units are very close to having unquestioned dominance of the battlefield. So we have here some trolls. Trolls are pretty dangerous in melee, and they have regeneration, but because they have regeneration, like most things that have regeneration, they are particularly vulnerable to fire damage. We will absolutely just focus the flyers on them. So for the moment, they are maintaining control of the towers. That's the thing that I really want to change before we start moving in to take the gate. We good over here? Oh, they're still actually not permanently broken, but we're about to chase them off the map, which will be good enough. Obviously, I don't want to waste ammo on somebody who's permanently broken, so we're going to watch this pretty closely. We are starting to see people run out. Okay. Handled. And let's throw some bombs down on the trolls. Trolls are a little bit widespread, so the bombs are not going to have the optimal effect, but I just want to contribute even more weakness to fire damage. Are you guys coming? Did you not hear the orders? Okay, there we go. Some of them turned around and flew back. That was weird. That'll do. Here's what I'm gonna call this one command group of flyers. You guys are still doing basically what you want to do. Let's make sure we unselect the units that no longer have ammunition, because I don't want them to read this as an order to get into melee. Trolls don't have great leadership either, so it's not super hard to break them. Trying to get them to actually position themselves over the trolls. Okay, I think we've done an okay job here. We'll be able to run those trolls off the backside of the map as soon as they break, and then we can do the same to the other group of trolls, and then when we actually crack open the front gate, there'll be nothing left to fight us, really. Alright, let's grab the units of flyers who are not able to fire anymore. Walk them off to the side so that I can do a box select here and get other stuff. It looks like they still have a unit of Black Orcs that's in good enough condition here that I would have a hard time finishing them off with just ammunition from the flying units. Okay, we finally broke them and they've run off in the wrong direction. We will be able to force them off the map, but it's going to take a little bit more ammo than I would have liked. If they had just run out here, it would have been very convenient for us. Alright, well, stay on it. And still have some of you. Okay, here we go. We have a bomb left. Right over top of them. Alright, we're not going to be able to get them to completely break, but that is good enough. Let's do it. Let's enter battle properly. So yeah, when they join battle against us, we have spells and stuff. We're ready to handle this, I think. Looks like we might be taking some friendly fire there. I think we're grouped up so tightly that the fire leech bullets are hitting us a little bit. Let's really exaggerate that fire weakness. Okay, we can probably run most of them off. Looks like we've done a lot of damage to their goblin big boss before even getting into melee with him, which is very good for us. You gotta back off so you don't get blown up by your own dudes. Actually, we're all out of ammunition over here. Alright, unfortunately we cannot have these guys just like run out here because they'll be vulnerable to tower fire. I wanna mass up over this way and then recommence the fire order. My hope here is that we can chase them directly out the backside of the map. Okay, we do still have some bombs left. Let's go distribute them. Okay, I think we may be successful there. And the gate has fallen. So we have 2 giants, and that is the thing we have to worry about. And unfortunately, we have enough people here still in good shape that we're not going to be able to get them off the tower. We don't really... Here, let me turn off melee mode. I don't really want to just run my 2 dinosaurs in. I think we want to back up. Let's get whatever salamanders are... Okay, actually we still all have some ammunition. Get over here and we'll figure this out. Also, the sauruses with the spears are high priority. And I'm just going to tell them to run straight in. Or to attack that guy, actually. And I suppose we should get the poisoners over here as well. A little bit of poison's gonna be very helpful. And I guess the characters can come over here as well. I'm gonna throw down a protective shield on all of the units passing in front of the tower. Can I actually cast... I'm assuming I can't cast Deliverance. Oh, I can. Huh. Very few spells can be cast on the wall. We'll throw a quick Deliverance on these Black Orcs. Try to soften them up a little bit. It'd be really cool if we could get it so that they were not in control of that tower anymore. We could just have some of our source units climb up on the wall. I don't think I actually want to do that. You guys should get over here as well. And I guess we could throw a quick revivification charge so you can see each unit can only receive so much healing each battle. And that little line on their bar represents where they will stop receiving healing. Alright, let's get the salamanders now into active firing. Now that the giants... Oh, right, I forgot Chaos Giants have a breath weapon. Now that the giants are committed, and they won't just run forward and slay the salamanders, we can have our salamanders run up and enter fire range. And a lot of these other dudes are just not... They're not going to be useful in combat just yet. How's this going? Did we ever get rid of those? We did not manage to finish off the trolls. Do we have any bombs left? No. What's going on? How are you guys just, like, considering breaking? Okay, I'm just going to gather up the flyers over here, out of the way. Okay, do we have... Yeah, Foz protection on these dudes is probably a good idea. The Revivification Crystal, we're going to keep throwing out heals. cavalry ran in. That's part of the reason I wanted to bring in all the anti-large first, was that they had... It's just monsters and cavalry in here, so... They've reclaimed control of this tower. What on earth are these guys doing? I understand how this helps them... How is this the thing I ordered you to do, basically? This is up again. Okay. Giants are big and scary and pretty good at fighting, but they're actually they have remarkably bad leadership for a monster. So yeah, it's not too hard to break them, and just the presence of all of my scary units behind the wall seems to have been enough to get the orcs to give up. You know, fighting orcs, it's not it's never quite the knockdown, drag out epic battle that you're hoping for. They always turn and run long before it is actually decided. It's really not that hard to work an orc force into surrender without even really having to engage with the majority of them. This is actually pretty unusual, like the depth of their losses here. An orc force usually breaks and runs long before they get to this point. But Black Crag's important to them. They probably have some leadership buffs here. I bet that the orc garrison building gives a bunch of bonus leadership to the defending force. Alright, well, the bad news is we probably are not going to be able to... We probably are not going to get a special landmark here, or even really a special central settlement building. The good news is there's a gold mine. You know, who needs other stuff when you have a gold mine? And I have, although we will make a lot of money off of sacking, I have no interest in doing that. I just want to get this place set up. Oh, hey, we got another fan waiver. That's good. I think we actually still needed a fan waiver. Okay, so we've kept it at level 4. We're going to go ahead and get the dinosaur building going as quickly as possible. That's a very high priority. I'm less concerned about this. Like, do we really want a Temple of the Old Ones here? Yeah, I guess it's fine. We have the gold mine, so we managed to keep the gold mine in good health. It already has a fully upgraded skink building, but we should definitely get one of these going. Also... Well, I guess we can build these 2 buildings in the small settlements. So also, one of these, that we have access to the other type of dinosaur. And we're going to need a weapon crafter's commune. Get our alignment of crafting up as well. Definitely turn on taxation. I'm not sure why it was off to start with. The climate's unpleasant, but we will deal. Actually, the climate in Iron Rock is, for some reason, much, much worse. Alright, how do we want to run this? Like, do we need this building, or do I want to rip this out and put the Weapon Crafters Commune in now? Do I think we need the Public Order? We don't need 10 Public Order. Yeah, I think we could probably rip that out and put the Weapon Crafters Commune in there. And then we actually will just upgrade this and have access to the Bastiladons. Mostly what I'm thinking is I want all of the moneymaker increases here, since we have the gold mine. And then this last slot can be, once we actually get the population sorted, this last slot could be the pylon. This is 360 gold. I'm wondering if it's worth tearing that out and putting the pylon in here, and then just rebuilding the money building later. The pylon ends up being a 12% increase. We'll be able to get... Because we have allied settlements nearby, yeah, we'll be able to get up to a level 3 commandment going here. So that'll be another 2%. Yeah, it'll go it'll go from plus 4% income to plus 6%. I don't know. It might not, I don't think it is going to end up being worthwhile to pull the money-making building out for the pylon earlier. Now, Crockgar did not level up. It was Lord Croak who leveled up. Greater Ward of the Old Ones is pretty powerful. Ooh, so is First Spawning. Yeah, let's take First Spawning. 10% research rate is awfully nice. So, do we want to spend population on upgrading these minor settlements? Because, like, I really do want to get this place to level 5 quickly. But I guess this is plus 10 growth right here, and then we'd also be able to upgrade this for another plus 10 growth. So I think it's probably worth spending a point of population to get 20 more growth, because it's gonna be a lot of turns of population growth before we're able to max out the occupied Black Crag. Alright, Yarick gets a level. And, yeah, let's finish upgrading Soul Quench, I guess. The most important thing for him is getting him to Arcane Conduit, right? So what are we going to do with all of our armies now? We could push north and fight vampires or something. This could be the world capital. The next world capital that we take over. Fight through some dwarves into the vampires. Castle Drakenhof does have a gold mine. Like, the number one most important thing for us to do now is get the dwarves on side. Also, it'd be nice to get Tilia. If we were going to go north, we would need to either trespass in Bretonnian lands a bunch or get military access from them, which I think might be hard to do. Can we get military access from Tilia? Because they have a lot of land that we need to cross as well, and that would actually be really valuable.
We are willing to hear it.
It's red, huh? That's not good. See, the fact that they don't need to pass through our land makes it harder for us to secure this. Likelihood low still. We're at 119, trending toward 174. They can't give me military access, really? So, all of the most direct routes through Dragonfire Pass toward Vampire Land go through Tilian territory. And because somehow they hold Mount Squighorn rather than the dwarves holding it, even the back way up through the mountain passes, through the mountains, requires... Yeah, this sucks, actually. And they have... Mount Squighorn's an unusually large region. It's all of this territory, and I believe it stretches all the way up to, like, here. Where's the edge of Mount Squighorn? It's here. So we'd travel through their territory a lot. We would rack up a lot of points of negative reputation for trespassing. So we really can't go anywhere north without military access from Tilia. That's very inconvenient. Also, going west to the shore requires military access from Tilia. So, like, if we wanted to think about taking the Galleon's Graveyard, which is here, that's this little bit, as another one of our capital cities, we still would either have to get access from Tilia, or we would have to walk all the way back down to our territory. This is actually very awkward. They're causing a real problem for us here. Well, we can run agents north. Keep performing hero actions against their enemies. Keep pushing our public order, or keep pushing our relationship with them forward as much as possible. Are they at war with the vampires or anything?
I hope your words are wise.
They're not. They're at war with one of the factions of Norskins and Chaos and the Greenskins. Okay, well, we can try to get these agents up into the remaining Greenskin territory, so like this guy can wrap around through Vampire Land toward Oakenhammer. Yeah, it's going to be hard to continue currying favor with them. Well, I guess, like, really the only thing we can do is get near their territory and wait for them to give us the green light. We want to go around Barag Dwazbag so we could, like... We could get out to here and be ready to head up around Barak Var. These guys are... Is this a rebel army? Yeah. If we could take Akendorf, it would serve as an okay staging ground up here. This being not Tillian is actually, like, very inconvenient for us. You'll notice the Bretonnians were able to get military access with the Tillians very easily. So yeah, at this point, I think the only things we have really left to do... The only things left on our list, we need 3 more world capitals. We have 5 of our own. And we need to deal with the southern Badlands. Allying with the dwarves, and then figuring out what we're going to do about the border princes takes care of the southern Badlands and most of this list. So we don't actually need to ally with the Tillians. It would be convenient because they'll give us the... that will give us effective control of Miragliano, which will give us the 8th world capital. But we could get an 8th world capital in a bunch of different ways. So really, the only thing that really matters right now is an alliance with the dwarves. So we have to make all of the money we can, let their opinion of us continue ticking upward, and just keep trying to buy our way into a military alliance. And a bunch of our lords just don't... I mean, we're sort of done with military conquest in a lot of ways. We could have somebody run back south to try to get to the Galleon's graveyard, or we could get a military alliance and head north and fight the vampires. How strong are the vampires? I think this is an important question here. If we were to go to war with the vampire counts, where would that put us? They have 4 settlements, so it's just those 4 settlements right there. This is the entirety of their nation. That's a war that we could probably resolve relatively quickly. Castle Drakenhof is one of the important world capitals. Okay, so I think our plan is get military access from the Tillians, continue to pursue military alliance with the dwarves, and from here we could loop around through the mountains to Jufbar and Oakenhammer and use that to attack Castle Drakenhof, or we could simply head through Barak Var, take Akendorf, and use that to attack Castle Drakenhof. This is all Akendorf. No, it becomes Grenstadt right there. Do we have military alliance with, or military access with these guys? We don't. So a path that gets us to Drakenhof. Probably we want to use the mountain route. Does this territory all belong to... Ooh, some of it belongs to Carrick Cadrin, who we're just now meeting. How did they feel? Pretty positively about us.
You no doubt have a request. I'll hear it now.
Military access is the most important thing. A non-aggression pact would be great. We might be able to get a defensive alliance going with them. A military access is what matters most. Okay, they're proposing a counteroffer. What I'm trying to do here is trying to... because they want us to have military access, I'm trying to get, like, the best value we can out of it.
Fine.
I guess this is fine. We don't necessarily need the defensive alliance with them. They don't have anything that we really care about. We just need to be allowed to walk through the parts of the mountains that they control. Okay, so now if we got military access from Tilia, it would be completely trivial to just go through the mountains and take Jufbar and Oakenhammer, put the greenskins properly to bed, and then gear up for vampire assault. So let's do that. Let's move our armies in that direction. It'll be tough to get, but we can get there. Oh, right, this also has to happen. All right. Huh, he won't move into Sartosa. That's weird. Hold on a second. Get me normal movement mode. Can I just get up on the beach? We're supposed to be able to enter through the port. Maybe they changed that at some point? It was definitely still the case not that long ago that you could enter a sieged city by sea. Whatever, we'll just get up on land and push them off that way. I'm sure the garrison of Sartosa plus Crepus's army should be capable. We have some sources. I guess there's a lot of skinks in this army that are not actually useful. But there's a Stegodon, some Croxagors. Yeah, we'll just push them off with force. So now, a question of whether we want to bother upgrading a lot of this stuff at all. I sort of want to just save all of my money for bribes. Buying our way into diplomatic favor, right? Yeah, I think so. I think that's where we're at. Alright, we might end up in a situation here where... See, he had a tiny little bit of movement left, movement order left, so it didn't ask me for orders for him, despite the fact that he effectively wasn't going to do anything that turn. They really do need to fix that. But yeah, at this point, it may be a while before the next significant thing happens. So we'll see what the situation is regarding military access next turn, if they are willing to give it to us in exchange for all of our money. And if they're not, I might do a little bit of editing here. I might cut out some waiting, because I think it may be the case that we are sitting around doing nothing for several turns while we wait for numbers to slowly tick upward. And that's not going to be any interesting to watch, is what I was going to say there. Warhammer has so fried my brain that I'm barely even able to speak English anymore. Yeah, we'll just have to see. So if we could get a military alliance from Tilia, it would mean that we didn't have to take the Galleon's graveyard. And we're really just left with... but if we can't get it, then we can take the Galleon's graveyard, or we can take... I think it's more likely that we take Castle Drakenhof, just because it'll be fun to go fight vampires for a bit. And then the only real problem left is conquering the Southern Badlands. And, I mean, it is a real problem. It should not be an issue for us to deal with the Tomb King settlement, because either they'll give us a proper military alliance or we'll eliminate them, and either one of those things should be pretty straightforward to do and not something that the rest of the world is going to have feelings about. The Border Princes-owned settlements in the region, on the other hand, are a little bit more complicated, because the Border Princes are sort of... they're part of, like, this ball of alliances, right? All the people who have militarily allied with the dwarves, but who will not militarily ally with us because they like the dwarves better for some reason. If we could get a big shared military alliance going, that would end it right there. That would be the end of the game. We would be victorious. But I don't think that's going to happen. So... if we attack the Border Princes, we're going to end up at war with everybody. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I'm not exactly sure what to do. Wound or kill this guy to get a thing you don't care about. Well, we are going to try to wound or kill that guy, because he's a real pain. And also, continuing to perform hero actions against the orcs is good for our standing with everybody. Oh wow, we actually got him. Well, luckstone for me, I guess. Okay, let's check our access to this treaty. Number one, most important thing for us right now is this.
You have a proposal? We are willing to
The
hear it.
military alliance with the dwarves matters, but we have time on that. I want to get this part going as soon as we can. Still low. Yeah, I think we may just have to pass a bunch of time and wait for their opinion of us to actually get closer to the value it's supposed to be at. I do wish that that happened a little faster. One thing that we do need to do this turn is push these guys out. Let's go ahead and get on that. Really? They don't just disengage? Huh. I'm surprised by that. I thought when we attacked them they were going to run. Well, let's throw a Banner of Eternal Flame onto somebody. One of you guys. Increases their weapon damage by 6% and causes them to do fire damage, which would be... you know what? It would be a little bit better if we had an Ancient Salamander. And I think we should be, like, massively successful here. I'm debating whether I want to auto-resolve or just take that. I'm concerned that if we do auto-resolve this, it's going to kill... you know what? I guess it's fine if it kills a bunch of our units. And I don't think this battle is going to be particularly fascinating to watch, because it's almost entirely heavy infantry. This really is just going to be them mashing into us and then us mashing, us dropping rocks on them and mashing back. We have our man with his Arc of Sotek. We'll poison him a lot. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be super interesting to watch. Okay, like, I think that's fine. Like, this is exactly the kind of outcome that could not possibly happen in a manual battle. That is the reason I'm leery of auto-resolves. In particular, like, where's all the damage on the flyers coming from? But because this is Krepus's army, like, we don't really care about these troops. I think that was okay. That was going to be exactly the same battle that we fought so very many times over the course of the campaign. Alright, you get to take Draftmaster. And we have to summon a bunch of new units, and I guess we're going to use the Rite of Ferocity here? But I probably don't want him to do it here. Yeah, I want him to sail down to someplace where he can get cool dinosaurs. Let's head to the Land of the Dead to rebuild. Oh hey, look, it's those dwarves. They've healed up considerably. So I probably actually have to spend a turn sitting in Sartosa and replenishing. As we could call in Carnosaurs via global recruitment, it's going to take forever, but Krepus doesn't really need to be anywhere. So maybe that's fine. Do the beast recruitment buildings also give... Oh, it looks like they don't give any bonus ranks or anything. So yeah, hiring them right here should be as effective as hiring them anywhere else. Yeah, sure. We'll just do the slow recruitment. He can hang out here. So I want a Carnosaur. We need more Carnosaurs in general. Do I also want an Engine of the Gods Stegodon? Not really. I think we're fine. Grab like a cool Ancient Salamander. And then probably... Well, hold on. Sorry. Let's press this button first. We may as well make them as effective as possible. And the amount of extra gold we're talking about here is pretty trivial. Okay, give me a Carnosaur. Give me one of these guys. And then we need 6 more units. There's still some of these dudes we could call in, and we probably will. And then what else does this army want? I guess it is, like, we can get some more dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. Me, an Ancient Stegodon with an Engine of the Gods strapped to it. And... anything else in the global pool that we can't get in the local pool? Not really. We don't have any poison in the army right now, and I do like a little bit of poison. The chameleon skinks are totally fine. Six units of flyers is probably good enough. We have enough flame throwing, we have enough dinosaurs, we just need stuff to hold the ground, really. So get me a unit of these, and then... I'll leave these unrecruited for now so we're not paying upkeep for them, but yeah, I think that's where his army ends up. And... If we upgrade, we... What is the change here? It just gains us a unit of Saurus Spears. Eventually, a Bastillodon with a Revivification Crystal in the garrison is pretty cool. But we're talking about a larger expenditure there. Like, how much is that? 6350, and then... Yeah, I don't know that it's worth spending all that money on. So we're just waiting. Let's give them one more cycle of enemy turns here. Let's move our armies around to more useful positions. You could get over here somewhere. As far over as we can get without actually setting ourselves in attrition territory. Okay. Right there. We can maybe head west over the ocean. Black Crag does not need to be defended. Nobody is going to challenge our supremacy here. Get all of our recruitment stuff in place. I suppose tearing out the money building and putting in walls... like I said, we're not going to be challenged here. Okay, let's bank up a little bit more money. Let our... oh, right. Same thing happening there. Let's bank up a little bit more money. Let our reputation creep up a little further. And if we don't get any traction on this turn, probably what I will do is... end the video there, and then I'll just let some time pass off camera. We'll get our negotiations set up. There is an amount of money and an amount of reputation that will secure us military access, and it's just a matter of waiting until we hit those numbers. Which, unfortunately, given the amount of time it takes for a cycle of enemy turns to play out, could be a lot of real-world time. I'm kind of surprised that the vampires aren't at war with more people. It is often the case that you see the vampire counts spread out in all directions like a scourge and just like campaign everywhere and everybody's fighting them, but nobody can quite hold up. I'm assuming what happened in this game is that they got beaten back badly enough early enough that they weren't able to make a lot of enemies. It's not even necessarily the case that they've been at war with the Empire, right? The Empire, like a lot of this stuff that we're seeing the Empire hold here, starts in control of minor Empire factions. So it might be the case that the vampires just never managed to expand westward. There are a couple of different vampire factions that start in this area, and it may be the case that they went to war with each other and just broke each other down early on. Antilia has a lot of troops. And the Southern Realms of Men have done extraordinarily well this game. Probably we should check in on elf stuff. We do care a little bit what happens on Ulthuan. If the Dark Elves take over all of Ulthuan, they're going to want to keep expanding, and we are in the direction that they will expand into. Well, probably they'll actually go for Bretonia. Mission issued. Kill 3,000 enemies in battle for some blessed chameleon skinks. Okay, well these are a little bit better than skirmishers. Still pretty bad, though. Also, somebody claimed the Sword of Cain. Okay, it looks like it's still under the control of the Lore Masters, which means that we don't have to think about it too much. Looks like the Dark Elves are still doing a pretty good job. Yeah, I don't know. Probably we don't have to worry about this. We are really, like, in our position, we are insulated from almost everything that is happening in the world.
So, you have a proposal?
Which is nice in the sense that we don't get interfered with a lot, but it does mean that most of what's happening is completely irrelevant to our game.
Not
Well,
in my name.
Okay then, I think that is in fact what we're going to do. I'm just going to call this episode here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time. We'll be picking up at some point in the future when the realms of men have come around a little bit. And we'll see you then.